and welcome back to episode 3 of the Frawl and Its podcast. My name is Stephanie, my pronouns are she, her, and I am a multi-crafter living in Atlantic Canada. So as I said, welcome. Thank you for coming back if you've been here before, and I'm glad that you found me if you're brand new here. I want to thank everyone who has subscribed to my channel. My kids watch YouTubers that have millions of subscribers, and they get really excited for each one that I get, so it's pretty cute. Also, thanks for anyone who's commented. I really did start this so that I could have a community of people that I could natter at about cross stitch and knitting and quilting, so I could, relieve my poor family of the duty of having to listen to me. So yeah, I guess it's been almost 2 weeks since I last spoke with you. I've had a birthday. My family went and stayed for the weekend at, I'll put a picture here. It's easier to show a picture than to explain it, but they were like these bubble camping tent dome things, and we went there for the weekend to watch the meteor shower. It was so cool. You could just lie there and it was totally clear above you, no bugs, got to see some shooting stars, and yeah, we had a great time. So now I guess right into the stitching. I have my show notes down here below me, so if I'm looking down, that's where I am. So amazingly, to anyone, I have something that I am calling a finish for cross stitch. It is part of my what I'm calling sheep virtues in the meadow. I'm doing it on 32 count Belfast linen and vintage Sahara, and I finished peace. So I have 3 now. Hope, love, peace. I figured I would call this a finish because I am putting 13 charts on this piece of fabric. There's 12 of these sheep virtues, and then I have something that's going in the middle as well. So if I wait till I get all 13 of those done, this will never be a finish. So I'm calling this a finish, celebrating it. Peace. And the next of those sheep virtues coming up will be Courage. It's by Little House Needleworks. And yeah, I'm not sure if I'm going to get to this month. My August plans were sheep and sunflowers, and I've got this sheep done, and I have kind of a crazy plan for a sunflower chart that I will show you next. So we'll see if we get back to that this month, hopefully, because I would love to get another one of these knocked out. They're so cute and they're pretty quick to stitch. All right, so next up, I had a finish, so I started 2 new things, and it's not my fault. Yasmin, Yasmin's Made with Love. I am a member of her Patreon, and she just, I don't know, went over the top this month. 8 charts for her Patreon plus a mystery stitch along. So I started one of the 8 new charts. And it is called Sunflower Cottage, picture here. And yeah, it has sunflower in the name, so obviously I'm going to start that. And here it is so far. I'm doing my own thread conversion. I've kind of just been jumping all over this, like I do with most of the things that I convert on my own. I like to try and get as many of the flosses on there as I can. So I'm stitching this, I believe it's a 32 count vintage Stormy Night. And like I said, my own conversion with mostly Roxy floss and a couple of hand-dyed by Rolandas. So that's start number 1. And then the very next day, I had start number 2. And this is the saddest start of all, but this chart released on my birthday. This is the Mystery Garden Stitch Along by Yasmin. And it was my birthday. I, life was going on. So this is part 1. I'm not sure how many parts. I can't remember. Maybe 4, but I am 3% through part 1. Look at this amazing yeah, pretty awesome. So I think part 1 has half of the alphabet up top, and then it's got some flowers. I'm doing this with a called for DMC, and I'm stitching this on 36 count baked clay by Fox and Rabbit. So start number 2. I need to work on this before the next part comes out. Sorry, I have my kitten in here, and she's really excited about this quilt top I have, you know, hanging behind me. So she's left for now. We'll see how this goes. All right. The next thing that I have in my pile of what I have worked on is on the 17th of each month, I am working on Trans Pride Tapestry by D's 20 Stitches and Uncanny Kari. So I'm going to put a picture in here of where it was, and then I'll put another picture of what I did to it. So I got rid of the diamond. I picked this up on the 17th, and I put 1 length of diamond in, and just realized if I have to stitch the rest of this horrible Brillo pad floss, I'm never going to finish this. And I'll be stitching so much hatred into this piece, which I don't want. So I posted on Instagram that I had taken out what I call bleached devil's pubes, because that's, you know, obviously what they are. And that I was getting rid of it, and I was going to put a toile in instead. I like the color of the diamond better than the toile, but the stitching on the toile is so much easier, so much nicer, and I will actually finish this, I promise. So anyways, here is where I am now. So you can see in here, this is all, you can see all those holes. That's all the diamond that I ripped out, and I just started putting in, I'm using Blanc in a toile. So it's got a bit of sparkle. Like I said, the color isn't as white because the sparkle in the diamond is silver. So it kind of has a bit of a gray, almost purpley, but so much nicer. And Dee actually commented on my Instagram post, and that was pretty exciting to have the designer comment saying, yeah, rip that stuff out because you should only be putting good vibes in this project. So here we go. Yeah, that's my Trans Pride Tapestry, and you'll be seeing more of that. Now that I've switched it to étoile, I would love to be able to get this done for my son's birthday in February. So we will see. Big goals. All right, next in the pile. I have on the 13th and 31st, I'm stitching Halloween. And I mentioned, I think on my last video, that I was working on a project that was on 40 count, and it just, I don't know, it wasn't what I wanted. I wanted the Halloween stitching to be, you know, fun, lighthearted. And I will be coming in October doing all Halloween, and then, you know, I have no problem pulling out a 40 count project. But I switched it up to, this is Patchwork Halloween by Jardin Privé. And I'm stitching this on 14 count Aida. So much different than 40 count linen. And here is where it's at. So this is the first time I've pulled it out this year. And I stitched all this border. So this stuff in the middle I already had, but I was having fun stitching the border. So yeah, that'll come out again at the end of this month. And so Patchwork Halloween, Jardin Privé. Love it. All right, next is the hashtag Live in the Sunshine SAL that's being hosted by Hygge Stitcher. And I did really well on this at the beginning of the month, and then when I started Sunflower Cottage and that pretty lame start on the Garden Mystery SAL, this has kind of taken a back burner, but that's okay. I have lots of time, no problem. So here's where I am now. And basically what I did was just fill in this Quaker. I had the frames of the Quakers done because, again, I'm doing a color conversion on this. So I wanted to see all the colors, or lots of the colors on there, and then I'm now going back and filling some stuff in. So yeah, I'm loving this. And now that I see it, I'm wondering why I put it away. But, you know, so much stitching, so little time. All right, moving on is my full coverage project that I work on Sundays. Now, that's today. I should say today is Sunday, August 20th. And so I put some stitches in her this morning, and after I get this edited and uploaded, I'll probably work on her again because I love her always. I've put about 800 stitches in here since you saw her last, and yeah, I'm just working kind of in her neck. And this, I still have it in the queue snap because I'm still working on it, but this chart is so crazy when you're working on it. Like, the colors that are in here, you know, I'm stitching, there's like these weird lime greens and so much yellow. It reminds me of sunflowers, which fits my theme of the month. But just like the greens and stuff, and I thought, oh, that can't be right. But when you get all of the colors in together and, you know, you hold it back, it really, it works. You have to just trust the process. These designers, they know what they're doing. So this is my Forest Fairy. Here again is the Etsy shop that I can't pronounce. 18 count Ada. I'm loving this. I'm, yeah, planning on keeping this a Sunday stitch into the future. August 13th was a Sunday, so I ended up stitching on my Patchwork Halloween project. But I brought this out instead on the, I think Friday, the 11th was World Cross Stitch Day. So I brought this out and worked on it then because I still wanted to get some work done on her. And like I said, I'll keep going tonight because 18 count Ada is easy for me to stitch at night. All right, the last project that I've worked on in the last 2 weeks is Summer by the Drawn Thread. And I've mentioned that I have all 4 of the seasons. And here's where I got to. Now, I was hoping to get, I work on this on Saturdays. I was hoping to get a bit more of it done, but I ran out of this green. This is Asparagus from Roxy Floss. So I ran out. I had just like a few lengths of floss in the project bag for this. And I know I have the rest of the skein somewhere. It's probably stuck in a project bag, but I thought, I'll just order some more because conveniently when I ran out of this, I got my shipping notification for my Roxy Floss of the Month Club. So I emailed Evertote and I said, hey, do you mind putting a skein of asparagus onto my order, and then you can just ship it at the same time? Because I didn't want to, I knew if I went on the store to just buy asparagus, I would, you know, invariably spend $100. So I wanted to be good and just get what I needed. And Caroline, the owner of Evertote, wrote back and said, yeah, absolutely, we can add that to your order. And by the way, it's on us. So that's awesome. I was shocked. That's why I love these people. So I will be getting some more of this asparagus coming. I believe that the Floss Club has shipped, so it should be here shortly. And, you know, maybe my next weekend. I can work on that. So that is it for my cross stitch whips. For knitting, all that I worked on was the same sweater that I've shown in the last 2 episodes. I'm still working on the second sleeve. I have a couple inches left until that second sleeve is done, and then I'm going to be joining the sleeves to the body and working the colorwork yoke. So I don't have it here to show you right now because you know, it's another sleeve, but hopefully maybe I'll have it joined up and be working on the yoke for next episode, or maybe it'll be done. Yeah, right. Yeah, so I don't have it to show you. Just know that I am still working on it every now and then. And, you know, it's out of really floofy wool, so it's not quite that season yet here to be wearing it. So on to quilting. I have a ton of it in front of me. Oh my goodness. So I will start with an almost finished object. So close. This is, I showed this last week. I think it was last week. Yeah. This is my Stay Gold quilt. It's made with a couple of charm packs and then some yardage. So there's a quick little show of it. And I finished the quilting on it. It's easier to see at the back. It's just a whole bunch of curly cues. Really fun, free motion. You know, my stitches are not all the same length. And it's perfect. It's exactly, what does my quilt need to do for me? It needs to be something to cuddle up with on the couch. So this suits the bill. So this is almost finished. I have sewn the binding on, but I can't find where my binding clips are. And I thought I had them out here at the cottage, but I must have brought them home. So all I need to do is flip this over, clip it, and stitch the binding down. I machine stitch my bindings because again, the purpose of the quilt is to keep me warm and snuggly on the couch. So, you know, machine stitched is great for me. One of these days I'd love to try some hand quilting, and more than likely on that quilt I'll hand stitch the binding, but maybe not. I don't know. We'll see. So this is almost done, and I'll hopefully find my binding clips, flip the binding and sew it down, and have it washed for my next episode. All right. I guess I'll talk about this in the background. This is my first jelly roll race. So much fun to do, so quick. Do I remember what fabric line this is? No. I got it. It was on sale at my quilt shop. I have to say, I am really spoiled as a crafter. I have a quilt shop, a cross stitch store, and a yarn store all within walking distance. So lucky. So, yeah, it was my first time doing this type of quilt. I stitched it all together, finished it this morning, and I was contemplating whether or not to put a border around it. I think I'm going to leave it as is, so all I'm going to have to do now is find some backing and binding, and we'll be good to go. All right, next up, quilting. I have a whip that has been living on my design wall at home for quite a while. And I should say my design wall is like an old flannel sheet that I just stapled to the wall, and it works to stick quilt blocks to. So here is what I have. They're just beautiful blues and like sage, greeny teals. Love it. So far I have stitched basically these all into rows. So there's row number 1. Oh, and then I also have the sashing that will go in between. And then I am stalled out at this point in it because you might not be able to see, but you might. It needs a good pressing. And at the cottage, I have one of those tiny travel irons, and there's no way that I want to. I want to press all of these with that tiny travel iron. I really love this paisley. So cute. Love it. So I'm going to bring this home with me and press it there, and then probably bring it back out here to sew together. And again, I have the backing already picked out, and zoink, one more. I have the backing already picked out. I have batting for this, so hopefully this will be done by next week. We'll see. Or not next week, my next video, which is probably going to be a couple of weeks too. So yeah, that is fun. All right. What else? Aha. I had a new quilting start. I mean, I had a start and finish on a top, so that's something. But I started a new quilt in honor of my birthday. I'm working on the Dear Jen quilt by Jen Kingwell. This is hand-pieced. This is, I have to make my own templates. This is something I have never done. And oh my goodness, it's insanity. So I have in here cut out all of the pieces for block 1. First I had to make the templates out of template plastic. Look at the size of these things. Like, are you kidding me? I thought starting with block 1 would mean that it was the easiest, but there's no way. This, I don't even know how many pieces this block 1 has. I'm just going to look it up because it is humorous. So let's see, 21, 2, 3, 4, 6. So 37 pieces in block 1, because why not? So I've cut out all of the 37 pieces, and so far I have joined 7 of them together. And that's what I have so far. Ooh, fancy. I'll show you what block 1 will look like. That probably will help. So here's block 1, and I have done like this square here. Something like that. All hand pieced. This is going to take me forever, but I am loving it. I even fussy cut. Oh my goodness. You can't tell now because there's only one, but all 4 of the corners, these yarn balls are all hopefully going to be exactly the same-ish. Let's see. I should show you the middle fabric for this one. It's cute. Fussy cut a little flower. So this is fun, and my partner just laughs at me because he's like, this is never going to get done. I'm like, yeah, you're probably right. Okay. The last quilting thing I wanted to talk about is Laura from Lila D Stitches is amazing, and obviously you're watching her. She is working on Long Time Gone by Jen Kingwell, and so am I. Probably because I saw it on her channel and decided I can do that. I'm brand new to quilting. And she mentioned, I think it was her last video, that the directions for the pineapple blocks aren't quite as they should be. I guess, again, I've never made a pineapple block. Well, I've made one. It's here. And so in the instructions, it tells you to cut out all of these strips of fabric. And it, including these corner ones, but these corner ones actually have to be larger because I did cut all of my strips the same and then it didn't fit. And all of you quilters out there are probably like, well, yeah, obviously, you should know that. But like I said, I'm brand new, was brand new. So, I commented on her video, thank you for pointing that out, because now I'll be able to actually make, I think you need like 16 of these or something. And in the comments, she replied back and asked what colors, what colorway are you using or something? And I'm like, oh, that's cute that you think that I have a plan, because I don't. This is a very scrappy quilt, but again, I was very new when I started it, so I didn't really have scraps. So what did I do? I've bought like a bunch of little charm packs, even the mini charm packs, the 2.5 by 2.5. I bought some of those. I have some fat quarters. I think I bought like a big scrap bag from my quilting store too. And so anyways, I thought I would show everyone what I have done so far in this quilt, and looking through it makes me really want to get it out again. Okay, so I'll start with these blocks. I have them in my hand. I think they call them the British Star something. So there's 1, 2. Yeah, none of these, this is not all from one line. I have batiks and cottons in here because color is fun. So yeah, when Laura was like, oh, what colors are you using? All of them. There we go. These are the first 2 blocks that I did. I think they call them bow tie blocks. Cute. This whole quilt, I am machine piecing. It's machine pieceable, which is odd for Jen Kingwall. And there's this guy. Pinks and purples. I love that. So I guess, I mean, like, there's a colorway for this block, but I'm certainly not carrying it throughout the quilt. This guy, I think this one's called Jacob's Ladder. It's just, I love putting all of these colors together. You know, it's like coloring. So great. And then I think my favorite block so far is my trip around the world that I did in a rainbow. Oh, that was a lot of squares. So many tiny squares to cut out and then sew back together. So, I don't know. I think, like I said, I need like 16 or something of these pineapple blocks, and I have 1. I have some courthouse steps I need to do. I don't know. This is another crazy long-term project. I do have, oh, I'm working on plus a star block. I have a whole bunch of stuff cut out for my next blocks that I'll be working on. One day. All right. So that's it for what I've worked on. Now we'll get into plans. I have so many plans. These are plans that I intend to not actually finish because that's how I roll. I got in the mail. Everyone has their book of days, and I like to be a little different because that's me. So I found on Etsy a store where they print out, like, it's a planner, and it's got, just like the book of days, has months every month, but I got it for 5 years starting next month. So, you know, it's going to start September 2023, go for 5 years. I saw this and I'm like, where am I going to be in 5 years? One of my kids will have graduated high school and the other one will be in grade 12. That's insane. I got it personalized, Frau Knits. Oh. And yeah, so this is where I'm going to be putting all of my plans. And just like all the cool kids, I'm putting stickers on my page. So, September will be Long Dog Samplers September. That's my plan. So I figured I would show you the 3 long dogs that I have. And yeah, I'm out of frame. Hello, I'm here. Reaching. Okay, so my plan, this month I worked on a lot of projects, and you know, I guess I did get a decent amount of progress on a few of them, but I really want to see big wow progress. And I have 3 long dogs. They are, for the most part, monochromatic. 2 of them I'm doing monochromatic. One of them I am using multicolored floss, but you know, I'm hoping that I'll be able to see big progress on these. So here's the 3 long dogs that I have. The first one is the pointed fifth. So there's that. I am doing it on 40 count linen in the colorway Blush. And here's what I have so far. And the floss that I'm using is Silken Colors by Thread Gatherer, and it's in the colorway Zimbabwe Berry. So it's got some great variegation in there, from lights to darks. So that is number 1 that you'll be seeing me work on next month. Long dog number 2 that you will see will be, what is this guy called? Opening Gambit. I don't have what fabric this is. I'm assuming it's a 32 count because I'm using sulky 12 weight. So here we are so far. I got my initials in, but I was smart and didn't put the date. Oh, here. Oh, I don't have a picture, so I will insert one here. And I am using sulky 12 weight, like I said. And it is color 4017. It goes from yellows to lime greens, and I think it looks great. This is like a dark navy-ish fabric. Gray, navy, cute. Those dogs are just adorable. So that's Opening Gambit. And number 3 in the long dogs comes with a story. I went to the first Stitch North. I didn't make it this year. Family, health stuff came up. Couldn't make it, sadly. But when I was at the first one, at the Evertote Roxy Floss booth, there was they had like different thread packs for different charts, and they had this thread pack. And I saw it and said, what chart does that go with? I'm buying that chart. I want that. I love these colors. I love blue and orange. So it has 3 shades of blue, an orange, a yellow, and a white. Actually, I can tell you. Planetarium, Delft, Cinderella. This guy is Creamsicle. Oh, this guy is Creamsicle. And Sunflower. Love a sunflower. And then the white is Antique Wedding Dress. So they said, actually, that doesn't go with a chart. That is just one of the people who work at Evertote in the workshop. These are just, it's a color palette that they put together. So I did not buy it. Because I didn't really know what I was going to do with it. I figured if they had a chart, I would easily stick the colors in. Well, at Stitch North, I was sitting at my table, and I was actually working on the pointed fifth. And one of the ladies at my table said, oh, I have stitched Death by Cross Stitch. Do you want my chart? So she mailed it to me along with another chart. There was a bonus chart in there, but she mailed me Death by Cross Stitch. So I got this in the mail, went on Evertote, bought the floss pack that, oh my goodness, I loved, and I started it. Now, this, I believe, is 40 count. It's an even weave. It's going to be humongous. I'm assuming that I got this cut to size. And this is what I have so far. So I am just, you know, picking what I like and going with it. I like kind of the texture that the Antique Wedding Dress gives. Right? You can kind of, I guess you can see the color a bit, but I like the texture more than anything. So yes, I love, love, love this color palette. So I am hoping that next month I am going to get a bunch of work done on these 3 long dogs. That's the plan, right? Who knows what else is going to happen. Let's see, other plans. September 1st, the hashtag Back to School Sal. I will be stitching on Dutch Beauty by Permin of Copenhagen. I have all the DMC floss for it. I believe that the chart and fabric are going to be delivered from 123 Stitch tomorrow. So I'll be ready to start. I'm so excited. I homeschool my kids. They are 12 and 14, so they're going into grades 7 and 9. And my thought for the Back to School Sal is maybe I can work on this mammoth project for, like, you know, my hour with coffee in the morning each school day. Just, you know, to get myself ready for what's to come. A little me time before kid time. So that's my plan. Let's see, what else? I do have on the 24th and 25th of this month, I'll be stitching Christmas. So I'll be working on Teresa Kogut's Santa's Big Bouquet. And that's on Big Count Ada, kind of like the Halloween one. I think when I'm working on these throughout the month, so, you know, the Halloween on the 13th, 31st, Christmas on the 24th, 25th, I want something that's easy like that. It's a break from what I'm concentrating on, and just something fun. Actually, you know what? I have in my fancy book. So like I said, September, Long Dog Samplers. October, I'm going to be doing Halloween all month, obviously. November will be autumn. And then December, Christmas. And I guess, you know, if you want to follow along into next year, I have planned already. January will be winter. February will be love, hearts and all that good stuff. March, I'm planning on doing a monochromatic March. I have, like I said, the long dogs. I also have other monochromatic samplers. And I loved how just easy it is just to pull out a thread, stitch, 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 stitch. So monochromatic March. April, I plan on doing birds. May is flowers. June, strawberries. And then July, just like this year, will be cottage. And then August, the same, sheep and sunflowers. So that's my plan, you know, my year-long plan. We'll see how that goes. Let's see. Oh, okay. So important plan is going to be to finish that clue number 1 of the mystery stitch along, the garden one with Yasmin's Made with Love. I have an A, so hopefully I'll be able to get that done. I can't remember if the charts, do the clues come out every 2 weeks? Every month? I don't know. I should look that up and get on that. All right, we did those. So as far as other plans, quilting, I'm going to finish the binding on this. I want to get this guy all sewn together. Like I said, I already have the backing, I have the batting, I have the binding. I should be able to get this. I should be able to get this done. Oh, the one quilting whip that I didn't show you is my red and white, well, red and cream quilt. I said in my last video that I was going to trim, I believe I was going to stitch and trim all these blocks, all the flying geese. I did stitch them all together. I haven't trimmed all of them. So I failed at that plan, but we will get it done this time. So I need to trim, I don't know how many of these I have left, like 60, 70 trimming. I saw someone on Instagram, I can't remember who it was, mentioning like, if you have a ton of this stuff to trim, just leave, you know, a handful of them out on your cutting mat. And every time you walk by, trim them up. I might just have to do that. So yeah, I want to get all those flying geese trimmed, and you know, maybe I can get these 37 pieces for block number 1 of, I don't know how many blocks will be going into that Dear Jen quilt. So I believe that is it. Excellent. Thank you so much for watching. I'm gonna get this edited and up for you guys to actually be able to watch it. Luckily, I did not get attacked by cats. I was really worried. We made it. And yeah, I look forward to seeing you next month. We'll have some progress on my long dogs. Hopefully I'll get that sunflower cottage done. That'd be awesome. And yeah, we'll see you then. Thank you so much for stopping by. See ya. Bye-bye.